Welcome to The Explainer, where we break down big ideas. Today we're diving into the hidden economics behind every single choice you make. And I mean everything, from your morning coffee all the way up to massive government policies. All right, let's get into it.
So, what does a $7 smoothie have to do with fighting inflation? It sounds like a strange question, doesn't it? But believe it or not, the answer connects the tiny, everyday decisions we all make to the biggest challenges facing the global economy. And it all boils down to one fundamental concept.
Okay, so to really get this connection, we have to start with this core principle. It's a concept that honestly is secretly steering every single choice you make. Right. Economists call this opportunity cost, and it sounds kind of academic, but it's super simple. It's the value of the next best thing you gave up. So it's not just about the cash you spent, it's about what you could have done with that cash instead. It's the choice you didn't make. I love this way of thinking about it. It's like every choice you make is haunted by the ghost of the alternative. That's so good, right? For every road you take, there's this invisible, nagging value of the road you didn't. And you see this everywhere. Think about it. A student goes to the movies. The cost isn't just $20 in 3 hours. No, the real cost is the studying they didn't do. Or a farmer plants a field of wheat. The opportunity cost? Well, it's the corn or soybeans they could have grown instead. And yeah, back to that $7 smoothie, its true cost is whatever else you would have done with that $7. Okay, so this whole idea of trade-offs, it's not just for us as individuals. Let's scale this up a bit and see how it plays out for a business.
For pretty much any company out there, the name of the game is something called cost minimization, which is just a fancy way of saying they're always hunting for the cheapest, most efficient way to make their stuff. And this, of course, means they face a classic trade-off.
And a lot of the time, that big choice boils down to one thing: people or machines, right? Do we hire more workers, or do we invest in more tech, more equipment, and automate things? Each option has totally different costs and benefits.
So the ultimate goal for the company is to find that perfect sweet spot, that ideal combination of people and machines. You know, the mix that lets them produce what they need for the absolute lowest cost possible. That's the win. That's the optimal choice.
Okay, so we've got individuals with their opportunity costs, and we've got firms with their production choices. Let's zoom out one more time, to the highest level. We're talking about governments, and believe me, they face the most complicated balancing act of all. You see, pretty much every single policy decision a government makes is a massive trade-off, and the consequences are enormous. We're not just talking about money or machines anymore. We're talking about huge, competing goals that can directly impact millions and millions of people. I mean, just look at some of these classic dilemmas. A government tries to lower unemployment, which sounds great. But oops, that can cause inflation to spike. Or they could give the economy a quick boost now, but the trade-off might be saddling the next generation with debt. And what about this one? Focusing purely on economic growth, but in the process, making society way more unequal. This last one is a perfect example of the trade-off between efficiency and equity. Think of the economy as a pie. A policy that focuses on efficiency might make the whole pie bigger, but it could mean that a few people get enormous slices while others get crumbs. On the flip side, a policy focused on equity tries to slice the pie up more evenly for everyone, but the risk is that the whole pie might actually get smaller. So, okay, from you and me all the way up to an entire government, it's clear that making the best choice is a constant, difficult challenge. So you'd think, naturally, that having more choices would make things easier, right? More options, better outcome. But what if that's completely wrong? I mean, it's a common belief, isn't it? More is better, especially when it comes to options. It just feels like freedom. But there's this really famous experiment, and it's just about jam, that totally flips this idea on its head. So here's what happened. Researchers set up a tasting booth for jam in a supermarket. On some days, they had a huge display with 24 different jams. On other days, just 6. Now, the big display with 24 jams, it attracted way more shoppers. 60% of people stopped. So you'd think, case closed, more choice is better. But, and this is the crazy part, when you look at who actually bought the jam, the results did a complete 180. Of the people who stopped at the small 6-jam display, 30% bought one. But for the massive 24-jam display, a tiny 3% made a purchase. Think about that. The people with fewer options were 10 times more likely to buy. More choice literally led to fewer sales.
There's a name for this. It's called choice overload, and it's a real thing. When our brains are hit with too many options, we just get overwhelmed. We get decision fatigue. And instead of feeling empowered by all that choice, we feel paralyzed. So what do? We do nothing. The easiest choice is to just walk away.
So it all comes full circle, doesn't it? From a simple smoothie all the way to complex national policy, economics shows us that every single decision we make is a trade-off. But maybe the biggest paradox of all is that having too many choices, too many alternatives, can actually trap us and make it impossible to choose at all. And that leaves us with a really important question for today's world, right? In an age where we have infinite choices, how do we get better at choosing what actually matters?